Oh, and yes, it says I'm live. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, world, and welcome to the 23rd of March, 2025. We are live and direct on Bantu TV broadcast, and I do have here my colleagues ready to go as we give our views or opinion on the most trending news out of the motherland, shall we? Start with no other than the incomparable. Oh, did I say my name? My name is Kalinda Shachinda. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a lot of things here. Broadcasting out of Indianapolis, here in Indiana, the Midwest, and of course, like every other week, I'm joined by my co-host here. And shall we start with the one and only, the incomparable, the most handsome man in the state of. All right, all right, there he is,
Sorry.
all the way
Into
from
no more nalelo. So when I'm
Ontario,
moving up and
Canada.
down and going in and out, just know that I'm with my son.
Okay,
Mm.
bring in your babuzelas, Sophia. Bring in.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the live broadcast of Abantu. Natukumba nalelo pa Sunday, pasondo po batila abantu. Pasondo twakumana tushtenani tushta analyze ama issues twikatane pamo. Let's agree to disagree. Let's bring in our divergent views for the topics that have happened throughout the week. We got major topics that we're going to discuss, of course, and as Bantu TV, of course, in association with our Retag media family, Twaisa to Amirumba Bantu, join us, like our pages, follow our pages, and comment. Our comments are very important because we want to listen to the viewers in how you're feeling and what you feel. So make those comments and we'll answer them, or you can join us by clicking the link. Tatutama abantu uli onse nga niwewe PF, niwewe Patriotic Front or SG or all these other Nashela Neka Party, you can come and join us here.
Actually, I shall make up. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. The lady of substance. Come in with your vavuzelas, darling.
Sister Kalinda, you're asking me to introduce myself?
Of course, like we do every week.
Okay, I'm Sarah. I'm in Washington State, in Seattle, in the United States of America. Thank you. I'm Zambian, pure from Copper Belt, Rusakile Hospital, born there. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. And our resident peers.
Thank you very much. My name is Kazia Chanda. I'm from Zambia as well, former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and also former labor commissioner. I'm glad to be with this group so that we share different and divergent views, and then we see common ground. So thank you very much, and hope to have a clear and very intense conversation today.
All right. Thank you so much. And let's start the podcast today with the most trending news out of the motherland this week. And this is of, there's no easy one. There's no easy way to start, but the Constitution review process, which has garnered a lot of heated arguments from both sides, those opposing and those, for the amendments. And we saw last week the opposition led by Tonse and some NGOs opposing, this constitutional review that's been proposed by the government. Basically, to change some things in our constitution as it should. I mean, it should happen. It should happen every 10 years. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's what our constitution says, that, we should review our constitution every 10 years. And the last time that this was done, I believe, was 2021, 2026, 2021, I think. I could be wrong, but Kazia is here to correct that. So who wants to go first? What are your views on this constitutional review process that's been proposed by the government? And of course, let's start with the legal mind of the show, of course, by Chanda Kazia. For me, really, I don't even know why people are losing their mind, because we haven't even seen the content that the government is proposing in this review. Kazia, your take.
Okay, my take is that firstly, it's very important that we do the constitutional review as required, so that we enhance our democracy. It's very important. That's the first thing. Number two is that, is it what is very important now? For me, the process and whatever we have to do, yes, we have to do. That we have to do, yes. But the question is that, is it what is very important to the Zambian people at this point in time? And why have we come in the last year before elections to say, now let's revamp and do constitutional review? Secondly, there was no budget line attached to it that we're going to do the constitutional review, and this is the amount of money that we have allocated for all the stakeholder consultations and things like that. So in terms of the review process, yes, we can review it, but is it the most important thing right now? In my opinion, no. It is not very important to do it now. Maybe this is something that can wait, so that there is enough time for consultation, enough budget, and enough one or two things to be done. The way government is proposing that they've done it is all wrong. It's very, very wrong. It is not like they can't sit down and do all that process by themselves. No, that process is informed by every time a consultative process, which is open. People are appointed to that committee, people are invited to that committee, and it's in public domain who is being consulted. You can't have a backdoor consultation and then bring it for the people to come and say, now let's discuss. No, it's not a secret. Having a conversation around the constitution should never be treated like it's a secret, something that we didn't know. We shouldn't take it that way. So in my opinion, we can't do that. Then secondly, to start to use the issue to say, no, that is what is going to enhance proportional representation, that is also another thing that I don't agree with. Because proportional representation is already enshrined. What the president needs to do, and any appointing authority, is just to go by what the dictates of the already constitution is providing for. Right now, what I have a problem with is that if we say, oh, we want to enhance women's representation, meanwhile we dissolved the ministry that was for gender and all those things that it was dissolved, sent away. The ministry that was going to deal with the issues of traditional leadership is out. So when you start to talk about the issue of saying, oh, let's make a proportional representation of these things, that on policy lines, you have not enhanced things that should be able to help. For instance, if the Ministry of Gender and probably say the inclusivity and all other things that we want to talk about was there, it could be the anchor ministry to lead the consultative process, which can form into that. But right now, we have disbanded structures that should have helped us to actually go into that proportional representation. Nothing stops the president to appoint a youth going to be an ambassador in Malawi than appoint Wapanji Kaunda. Nothing. Nothing stops the president from appointing a woman to come and be an ambassador in Canada than Washapande, who was there in UNIP. Nothing stops the president to appoint. There are so many examples we can give of all the people that have been brought back. Vasejani, number one. Basejani is almost 70 Chakutukona going in retirement. Why should he be the one to be the chairperson of local government service commission? Why can't we talk about the youth? Why can't we talk about women? Why is it that if we have to talk about inclusion of people with disabilities, why can't we appoint by appointing some people in those positions? Now we have appointed ourselves as old people in the positions where we should appoint the youth. Then we say, no, let's go to the constitution to change. I think it's very difficult to believe in terms of that kind of principle being floated. The principle is that yes, the constitution needs to be looked at so that all those things that may be a concern to the people can be addressed. Right now, I don't think it's the right time to start having that conversation. It will just drain our resources because you see, for certain things to pass, they will be having backdoor meetings, financing people to go and speak the way we saw. Nani aba bachirala and Akachir, no, we are supporting this long overdue by UNIP. Vice Abuka from all the some Vice Abuka and the party constitution. Where have they been? So this kind of arrangement, Vane, is something that for me, I think it is a process that is very important to the Zambian people, but to come and shortcut it in the middle of the economic crisis that we are having, the cost of living not being addressed and things like that, I think it might be a shot that the UPND government is going to have a problem actually going forward. I submit.
Right, yeah.
Well, because I don't know where this confusion is really emanating from. Okay, from the opposition, because what I don't understand is this is just a topic. Well, let me just break it down so that Bamayo, Kunani Kaniku, Goli Market can understand these issues. Moneni, umwana ilenganaisa kunganda na randa ndefo kupaini. Obviously, I've been dating somebody for some time. There's no way na laisa file lo na afika fipanga and oh mukachana ni uyu na upa and all that. There's a process. So the process this is where we are now. And then I don't know this hullabaloo, this confusion, where it's coming from the opposition, because the president there are some issues, okay, non-contentious issues that we need to resolve. And these are the issues that, in fact, Abaneso PF were talking about in the previous regime. And we say, look, why don't we look into these things? Now, timing, Morela and Dapali timing at why now? Why not now? Why not now?
You want me to answer that?
No. I don't want you to ask.
Okay, but you're asking.
I'm just answering your question. So
no, but that's not yes.
No, you ask.
You can't ask a question.
Why now? And I want to answer you. Why now?
Let him finish.
Okay. So, Ilia Shiria Kulandati, Ninshile law for Bantu UPND or who take over UPND and the leadership have come up to say, let's tackle these issues now. There is nowhere in the constitution, in the book of the UPND or in the constitution of Zambia that actually says at this time, this is when you should talk about constitution reviews. At this time, this is when you should discuss these things. At this time, this is when you there's no timeline. Okay, so it's a question of it doesn't really matter the timing. So timing is not a matter. But what's important is this: what are we trying to bring forward? What are we bringing forward? And finish abantu for bala umfwa. The president only has a limited, okay? He's got a limited number of people that he can appoint in his powers. Okay, so if the argument, if people are arguing to say, oh, Nishiba president, no, in fact, look at this cabinet. This is the most well-balanced cabinet that we've never had since the UNIP era. And to top it off all, We are saying this. E-cabinet, when it comes to gender representation, mwe bantu bakwalesa ba president bakwatafe a limited amount of powers or number to say for example, let me give you an example. Kuchi ba tafe appoint maybe or for argument's sake or for conversation's sake 10 people out of his own powers. Now,
Actually, 8 is the
8,
exact number.
right? So now, what about this?
No, Wakalinda, he appoints more.
No, it's 8.
What if we brought in Bakazia? Jesus Christ. So what if we brought in a constitution review whereby Amaka Eyakuta appoint abantu, it's no longer in the hands of the president, or he should have some, but it is now more elevated in the constitution. Mu constitution but at least representation for disabled people, this amount of people, for the ladies, this amount of people, and for the youth, this amount of people. Chalemba munani constitution, so that when the next government comes in, the youth, which are the majority, by the way, disabled or physically challenged people, they can be able, to gain all these positions without being marginalized, right? So areas it's not a matter of the timing. Timing, it doesn't matter. It can be done today, it will be done tomorrow. But what is important is, can we bring these issues to the forefront so that people now can understand? My daughter, can she come and represent us? You see? So these are the issues that we need to bring to the forefront. So according to what you were saying, Ivya Shala, and I rest my case for now.
You see what, and before maybe Vasera maybe I can just give a quick rebuttal, then Vasera can come in, so that at least Vasera may even comment on what I'm about to say. Vatanda, you have misinterpreted what I said. I never said that the constitution making process is not important. It is important. That was my first opening statement. And then I went to also to tell you to say, why should be if there is that they are marginalized? Who is marginalizing them? It's the appointing authority who says now let's be changing youth. If there were appointments that are youth based, for instance, I'm giving examples of people that should be kufahamu barelima. But they've been appointed. So it's not that appointment must only be ministers. No. The appointment must not just be ministers. It must all go to permanent secretaries. It must to service commissions, army officers, other things. Somebody appointed by the president. So we are talking about everybody that must be appointed by the president. Now, if we say, okay, let's go to the cabinet itself. There's nothing that has said the president cannot appoint a youth from parliament. Who parliament which discretion 8 from parliament. For instance, Imanga. That Imanga is a youth. He could be appointed. There's nothing that stops him from appointing that. So mwayasa enda abakote, mwayasa abapela, elo abakote balamu abapela, elo mwalala that no, we want to now to come and make the. How are you going to do it? Because even when you say proportional representation of youth, you are not going, when you say, oh, 5 youth members of ministers, and then Chapali youth who win 5, okay, president wait for to appoint every 10. Because they're never going to give the president the power to appoint 50 people to ministerial positions. No, you will not no one is going to give you that power. So even from what you have, how are you going to roll it out? And you see, the people are saying, and I'm got a document.
Conclusion.
But you cannot start by talking. Start by producing the document. Now, last week you had the conversation here where you were indicating like this week to ala kwata consult. Consultative process. Now, the people only that are saying this is UPND. You people that don't mean very well for the president. President. The civil society is saying no. The church is saying no. The major political opposition parties are saying no with representation in parliament. They are saying no. So if you let's keep this away. When if it was in conclusion, if this was good, there is no one who would going to say, because it is people are telling you that the constitution making process is not something you wake up and say to start within the next 3 months. You are not going to do it. So let's go back, have a proper constitution, proper consultative process. The roadmap is created, the people are in there, and then everything is done. They can formulate that.
All right, that's a man's opinion. Lady Sarah, I think before you come in, let's just
Yeah. Who was saying that?
No, let me just.
You King Dandy. King Dandy.
Let me just
rest in peace. Okay, now it's time for Lady Sarah to talk about this constitution review.
Go ahead.
Number one, I'm a Zambian. I'm speaking as a Zambian. And I've heard Chanda Kazia saying that by UPND ever if you're not everybody. I'm on that side, but I'm not going to allow this, which the government is trying to put in place. I'm very, very much against this constitution review because, like Wakazia was saying, and Chanda was busy saying, why not? Wakazia, in the first place, when he gave his speech on this one, he started with saying the way the country is right now. So it's not the best time to start changing the constitution. Number one, the constitution is going to eat a lot of money. Those people are going to sit there. Some of them, they'll be dozing. They'll be having, what do you call this, sitting allowance?
Siesta.
Yes.
Yes.
They'll be having sitting allowance and they'll be dragging so that they can make more money. And the reason being that it's not like because they don't want to do it, it's because even the economy is not doing very well. So they would want to make more money to send their children to school, to pay their fees. So they would drag this process and it will take time, and the money, the taxpayers, the person that is suffering will be paying. Number two, the president who is talking. The president has the powers to appoint these women and youths. How can somebody who has powers to appoint old people to be ambassadors and cannot have powers to appoint women and youths? Why? How can you people, let's think about this. Let's be truthful and be, transparent. There is no way that the president right now can fail to appoint a young person. There is no way that right now that the president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, can fail to appoint a woman to be ambassador or to be somewhere. Okay, if they want women to be in parliament, elections are coming in 2026. Those women, they can file their, their papers and they can be nominated by their parties and they can be voted for, if they want them to be ministers. But appointments can be done by the president. There is nothing like, wanting to review the constitution. This is the thing that they refused when PF wanted to do that. The people in parliament.
Ah, sorry,
Sorry,
but
I can see your
that.
mouth. You want to open your mouth. I can see that. Just wait, I finish.
No, go ahead.
If I saw on Facebook recently, yesterday, I saw where people were dancing, refusing something similar to this. So in short, what we are saying, for me and other people, we are saying it's not the right time. Let the president do something else which can make our economy go well than doing that constitutional review. Number one, is going to have a lot of resources. We are going to waste a lot of resources by paying those people who will be reviewing the constitution. I'm not a lawyer, but this is not the right time. Let him appoint the youth and the women by just appointing them, not just changing the constitution. Thank you.
Okay, BantuTV, before you come in, let me just bring in Mr. Macha, who just joined us from Zambia. Macha, we are talking about the constitution review. So maybe before you answer, let me just throw things out here. So we have a total of 156 members of parliament elected directly from the constituencies. And then we have 8 nominated by the president. So let's put it out there. Those are the numbers. So a total of 166 MPs in parliament as we speak. That's one caveat. Off the cuff. 2, I think the UPND are not proposing for the I think what you're calling what people are maybe mistaking it for the the national referendum, where people are sent out to all the 156 constituencies to gather submissions from members of parliament. This is not it. What they are proposing for is to review certain laws within the constitution that can be changed, without going, without spending a lot of money. And this is because they want to answer the question on, these constituencies that are large, that cannot be manned by the MPs themselves. And, that brings in the famous word that we learned this past 2 weeks. What is it called again, BantuTV? What is it? Delimitation?
Delimitation.
That's one. 2, of course, increasing the members of representation of women in parliament and in all government sectors, as defined by the United Nations, of which Zambia is a signatory. I think we're supposed to increase the representation of women and youth to about 33%. We are not there yet. So as we discuss this topic, I think we should look at it from that forum. They are not going to pour in a lot of resources to do this. Michael Sata did this when he came in power, remember? So this is not a far-fetched idea. It's been done before at a fraction of the cost. 2, there are people who are saying, why now? I mean, the PF did it in 2025. Nobody said anything. We all, went to the Independence Stadium to witness the most. It was being deemed that at that time, it was a document that was not going to be tested for the longest time.
And he signed it with his eyes closed.
But it's being tested now because there are certain loopholes that we can change without, calling for a national referendum. I think that's where the UPND are. I may have gotten it wrong, but from my understanding, that's where we are. And again, we haven't seen the context of what they want, but reading through the media, I think that's where they're going. Mr. Himwami, as the man in Zambia, now you come in. What's your take on this constitutional review process that seems to be sending people like Given Muwindai into running like a headless chicken on the national podium? Your take.
Good evening, all of you.
Good evening.
Zambia is good. Democracy does not come cheap. For for us to enjoy the dividends of democracy, the constitution has to be followed. Any act outside the constitution is illegal. Any act done outside the constitution, in as far as increasing the number of MPs or increasing the number of constituencies, would be null and void. Because when we increase the constituencies, it has to be coupled with the eco funding. So democracy doesn't come cheap. We just have to go it that way. Because when you talk about reviewing the constitution, a constitution is not a Bible. It can be rewritten because needs change from time to time. It's not a document that is sacred, that is like it can't be amended. We are simply changing some parts, not everything. Parts that have affected the way we shall be conducting ourselves. There is need for us to adjust ourselves. And that adjustment can only be done through a constitutional review. Outside that is going to constitute an illegality. So I'm okay with the amendment. It will cost money. Democracy does not come cheap. Democracy is very expensive. The cheapest is dictatorship, which we don't want. Dictatorship would just mean someone coming up with this and this and this. We change. Tomorrow there are going to be 10 constituencies added. No. We don't want to go that way. We are people that have learned to express ourselves. We are people that have learned to tolerate each other's views. The only way we can tolerate each other's views is through a debate, an amendment where everyone has consensus. Is not easy to build, and it only comes through a review. Stakeholders have to give in their part. I mean, I can't say much. May I end here?
Bachilofia?
Yeah, I 100% agree with our brother Wamacha. But look, this issue of the constitutional review, it shouldn't be taken like something that we're not changing the whole constitution anyway. That's not what we're doing, and that's not what the argument is. And what Wakazia is bringing up forward is, okay, is it the main concern? All right, like, look, if we were saying this is what we want to do, has the government stopped moving? Are the arms of government stopped moving? The answer is no. The government is still operating. The government is still doing its functions while we're tackling on all these issues. So it doesn't mean that awe ngatwatampo kita concentrate palifi nishinomba nifindu vyalaro. No. That's not what it is. Okay, that's not what it is. Abantu, they'll still continue waking up every day in the morning and go for work. And if we want to bring this, a constitutional amendment on certain, parts in the constitution, why not? Okay. And timing, the timing. Is there a proper timing for any constitutional amendment?
Yes. Yes.
Bakalembe buku bakabike nokubika achawe. The best timing for constitutional review ni Sunday 21st century of 1964.
The best time.
Then all the Zambians now will start following it. But for now,
the things why we say the timing is wrong.
Yes.
Now,
so what we're saying is this: tuila chitanani kane tuila later non-issues to real issues. The real issue is, yes, Abantu, they want, especially the youth, they want to be well represented. And the physically challenged, they want to be represented. So in the
What is stopping them from being represented?
I'm coming. So the president, that's what I was saying. Look, the president is limited, okay, to what he can do as a president. So
does he want more power to do that?
No, want to acquire. Can we have order? So
I'm just asking.
No. You can't ask a question while I'm answering a question. You don't throw me off.
They've already answered.
No. I know what you're trying to do.
Mr. Kazia, hold your fire. Mr. Kazia, hold your fire, please.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. So Vakateka, like I said it, he only has a limited amount of power or appointments that he can do. Now, he has said, like I need to change a constitution whereby it shouldn't just be on the preview of a president. Chikabena constitution. Ichi buku. Icha Zambia chiri. So, when want to acquire, they can do stay increase abantu abaiche misepela, physically, people. Fibe constitution whereby ngafuma up as a president. President, okay, say what next? Okay? They'll be following that because it's there, written in stone.
No,
Vakazia. You know that our president doesn't have that amount of he's limited to what he can appoint. Okay,
this is why I asked you to say, does he want more power?
Even what's in even what's in the constitution right now. Okay, it doesn't really specify or define. So what we say,
give an example, give an example.
Can we from now going forward, can we have these elements and
what
these
elements
or these amendments?
What elements?
Really specify. Yeah, I was going to have a conversation.
Because you are busy beating.
No. It's my time to talk. When your time comes, you can talk and you can rebuttal how you want it. Okay. So I want to Zambia. Let's allow this process to continue because it's not going to benefit. It's not a UPND movement. It's not a UPND thing, but it's the Zambian people. You are as a Zambia na green registration card will be able to say, look, I think this is a good move. When we're going to do it, when it's going to be done, that doesn't matter. It's neither there or here. But what is the intention? Okay, that's the issues we need to tackle. What's the intention? What's the intention of the current government, of the UPND? Two of our opposition, they are crying out foul because they have always brought issues like this when they've got other ill intentions in the amendments processes. Okay, we cannot even talk about butane. We even know what happened there. They were trying to sneak in certain amendments and certain bills that people were not aligning to. This is not the case. It's not the case. This is different, totally different. We're now in a government. Conclusion. Let's not relate the foreign, the former Patriotic Front initiative or try to sneak in bills while discussing butane. This is not what this is. This is purely purely, and it's something that the Zambian people, in fact, it's even coming from what it was discussed in, it was part of the Bill 10, actually, it's part of that. These are the issues that were there that as UPND we agreed. We just didn't agree on one or two things that were going to disadvantage Avena Zambia. Mamuna wantu akwalesa. Ili ashiri taitampire lero, teba UPND aba itampire. Kale ya tampiri ashiri. Okay? So let's be clear on that. I rest my case.
Lady Sarah.
I think for me, I still stand with my contribution. Are you still talking about the Constitution?
Yes, we are. Still.
Yeah, so I still stand with my contribution of saying, let it not pass. You know? Bakafichiteko ngabapita in 2026. It's not quite enough time to do other things. Not now. We don't want it because the economy is not doing very well. The taxpayers' money that they'll be spending, they can do other things. They can put drugs in the hospitals. They can buy machines of, putting abantu ababalera that GPM afuyaya ku Mangalande or wherever. They can cure him nicely there. After ishempia bale for kuposa pali constitution. There is a hospital in Indola, ADH, Arthur Davidson Hospital. I've been in that ward where they put the premature babies. Some mothers, they pass on, may their souls rest in peace. They pass on and you find the relatives, they have no milk. They start sharing. I experienced that when I nursed one of our babies in that ward. There's no milk. There's no sterile, fabric to forge. To share with another baby. You know, those babies are small, so they can do something to do with that. Those words like hospitals like that. And like Kula Post FMPM constitutional review. How many times are we going to be talking of constitutional review, constitution change? Ama powers we win HH. I require to point ama women na right. Thank you.
Mr. Himwan.
I'm here. You see, there is no set date in the Constitution that stipulates the time at which the Constitution can be amended. So it's as and when need arises. The need to amend the Constitution has a reason. Timing is not an issue. The need has to be fulfilled.
What is the biggest need that you guys are saying that the need has a reason? What is it? We are telling you that this need which you are thinking the need has a reason. That need is
the youth is the need. The youth.
Wakalinda, the only person to be told to keep quiet is me, isn't it?
Sarah
so when it is okay for you to just interject.
Finish his contribution.
Am I protected?
You are protected. Go continue.
Okay. Every time before elections, delimitation should take place. And if delimitation has to take place, there are those people that have to aspire as MPs. They can only come in through the Constitution. The representation currently is not some people are outside coverage. The only way they can come into the network is through the Constitution. It has to be amended. Example is now. If I start answering, I'm allowing people to come in.
Give an example.
Let him finish, and then you can ask another question.
Yes, I'll have answers for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are left out, they will feel marginalized, and when they are marginalized, they are not represented. So why should we go ahead with a parliament that will not be well represented. The youth, as it is, they are not. How many youth members of parliament do we have? Adoption at party level, just for a youth, is impossible. They don't have money. How do they go to campaign? Even it's
So
not easy to be adopted.
Constitution or whatever, that's when they will have money to participate.
Let him finish, Valerie, sir. Let him finish.
Okay, let me finish so that they ask questions. I'm done.
Okay. Now you can ask your question.
Basera, before Tamara question, let me come in here and correct a few things. Mwarishiva, ukuwa kuruke ditakwa. That is one thing that is killing our country. Number one, Mulela and that, oh, there is no need. How abova zera ndarama tamwa pera number separatists? They've never been given the money. The money is going to go to constitutional review. How many teachers have not been given the settling in allowance, housing allowance? How many of those? Yet these things are coming new. They have not been attended to. Right now, teachers have been employed. Vale who were employed without subsistence allowance given, nothing like settling allowance being given. These are things that are in their conditions of service. You are not doing that. Where are the drugs in hospitals? Where is fuel? Fuel is in a bin. Come allow in 15 kwacha, kuno shing, 30 kwacha. We are not fixing that. How much is fertilizer? So there are things that are very important. Why we are telling you it's not the right time now. Why don't you fix things that affect people on a daily basis? The constitution one, you are increasing the cost. The moment you delimitate and you add more, you are talking about buying 100. If you add 90, you are adding 90 new vehicles, 90 new allowances for everyone who is going to sit in that parliament. Just shouting, yeah. We must be serious, Vane. And it's unfortunate that if we ever to learn how the life is for people, how people look after themselves, how people look after their population. Imisebo, Ifipatala, everything, financing of this. Our people in Barely local in abject poverty. Hello, Muntu Asa for selfish interest at the Kenimbique Parliament, yes, the capacity is 150. Now we are going to take to 200. Do you know the cost of adding to that? The cost even of my election materials. If people want to develop the country is known, and everyone else. There is nothing that is there. People are crying about the cost of living. That should be the first thing that we are fixing at your constitution so that we can have more youth. Why are you not appointing more youth? Why can't the president appoint a youth instead of appointing Panji Kaunda? To go to parliament. Why?
Already answered that question.
Let me just come here.
You haven't answered that question. Now, let me finish, Masera.
I think you are being disingenuous when you're talking.
Let me finish. No. You said you are going to allow me to finish.
Because what you are practicing here is ageism.
Vagalinda, you are the one who said you will correct. You correct me.
I'm correcting now, but because you are bringing in ageism. Panji Kaunda is a Zambian citizen. It doesn't matter.
Vagalinda, I'm giving an example. I know, Vagalinda. First of all,
he's a human being.
Vagalinda, nobody, no, Vagalinda. Let me.
No. Give me another example, not Yaba.
I'm going to give, but you see, Vagalinda.
No.
Vagalinda. Yes. No, I'll give you another example.
Because of his age.
No, Vagalinda. When we are talking about balancing up, you take Vagalinda.
We should be careful how we call on other people because of their age.
Yeah, but you see, these are examples that are clear cut.
What practicing here is ageism.
What?
We cannot
do you want an answer?
Vakalinda, let me finish. Let me finish. When I gave examples of Abantu Abakalamba, I am not saying there cannot be some. But when you to appoint all of them, youth inclusion. What do you mean? Because the youth inclusion must be abakote, vanamayo, na bonse baba disabled within the powers that you have.
Can you count
How many ambassadors have been appointed? Therefore,
How many?
You see, ngachakwa timwasenda things like that. Mwala mbokufumia principle ndela ndilapo. The principle that I'm talking about.
No, you figured out.
We cannot.
So, can you give us a list that the president has appointed?
Oh, Mulefu amupele list. And when I give the list, what are you going to do?
No, which one? Go ahead.
Never. When I give you the list, what are you going to do about it? Because you see, on one end, that is why the problem is. You are lying to the youth. Ama youth must be able to start taking over. Iya kota yonka mubana. Takwaba ya kota ichirire yonka muiko. Takwaba. That is why the youth are supposed to be helped to be leaders. We have killed the youth right now. We have killed the youth with the zeal to lead. We must give them space to rule. We must give them those positions that we have. If anything, president under 40, to and then us that are old, favor room government now and even if to just be advisors. Now we can go farm advise. We cannot be. This country is not about it. How many youths can we say general youths are below 35 in that parliament and in that cabinet? We are duping our youth, using them to vote for us. There's no start by appointing one, then you can come and say, oh, definitely say increase. You have not appointed one youth.
So practically, I think Vakazia, he's dropped off. Vakazia is actually agreeing with what we're saying.
Yes, exactly.
It is actually it's just doing it in a wrong way.
Yeah,
but he's agreeing with what we're saying. We're saying, look, appointment for the.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Valide, sir.
Yeah, you know, I just want to respond to my boo, Himwami. By Himwami.
Okay, is your boo?
Okay,
I'm listening.
I thought it was Vakazia. Okay, so if Joe's my mommy. Go ahead.
You don't know that these people are my boos under normal circumstances. Vachanda can never be from Katwishing and Northern. These are from my village, my other village. So what I'm trying to say is that if you bachala ndati if you learn the chani kuputulama constituencies balundeko, right, so that the others are not marginalized. Yeah, so I don't understand the theory behind it, which is making us the people to think that when they do that, that's when the youth and the women will be inclusive. Already, you had to bite your tongue by saying that they don't even apply for, for those positions as member of parliament to stand as an MP or as anything, because it's also costly on them. They don't have money. So what makes you think when the president now puts the constituencies, the new constituencies, that's when they'll have the money to stand as MPs? So it doesn't make sense.
I need
to, let me finish.
Finish up.
Okay. At one time as a councillor in Kanini Ward in Ndola there. You know, the way politics are, already you are saying that those people, well, I feel we are as member of parliament because of poverty. So are you telling me that in Kwama constituencies, that's when they are going to have money? President HH will give them money to stand as parliamentarians, as MPs? No. So it will be the same thing. It's just an increment to, like Mr. Kazia was saying. Ukulunda kwemyoto kashama ministers, ukulunda koma shanama allowances. It's like now, we are going backwards because the people in parliament right now, why? Because number one, politics. I saw it happening even with my side. Politics. Number two, and politics, it's all about money. To say the truth, it's not about chatting mwarunda kwa constituencies. That's when the youth akafunya kwisempia youth walero so ukwaba chengire mu politics mumusari. And who chooses the people to stand as MP? It's the party. They failed to choose the youths. Even by UPND, there are some youth that were not picked. They picked their fellow people over number wine. Is it not true? People would even fight to stand as an MP. So what makes you think the youth? Okay, inenewo shani mwana wandide maongo inewo maongo, I'm 34 years old, therefore because mwaite bikireko constituency na impi. No, takwetera wanungwe ala ingira shani nangunina mayo ala ingira shani mlerunda kufia fintu fya kwebati shirempia, like we have said already. Do something with equipment in hospitals, dialysis. People who go on dialysis, barachula. Dialysis. And people die in our country because of that. Why are you wasting money on constitutional review when things are bad in hospitals? Things are bad in fuel. Things are bad with feeding, drugs in hospitals. Why do you want to waste money? Mr. Hakainde Echlema, you should listen to this. Please don't do this. Use that money to do something in hospitals. Like I've already said, there are hospitals that have nothing. Ngamwaingira mu hospital, Ndola Central Hospital. I'm not there right now, but I'm thinking of, I just came to America 4 years ago, so I know what is happening. It's kununga, disinfectant tamuri. Why you want to do constitutional review no kulunda kwa constituencies? For what?
All right.
All right, let me add a comment here.
Can we move on? I think we've discussed this for a long.
We have, but I need to add one more comment from Zambian contributor who can't come online. He says, Masiliso Mlema says, I'm wondering why people are afraid for us to review the Constitution. The Constitution is not cast in concrete. Let us give ourselves a current Constitution. We move on to the next topic, and that topic is okay. KCM's.
Before you go to KCM, we want to answer that guy. Is it a guy who's saying we are afraid of whatever?
That's just his comment.
Yeah, I want to answer that comment. We are not afraid. We are saying facts. We are not afraid of anything. It's the facts. We don't need that constitutional review now. It can be done later.
Great. Moving on. All right. So this week we saw KCM's creditors. So, who is that one? CEEC. Is that Copperbelt Energy Company? They own $200 million. Yeah, $200 million. It's the Copperbelt Energy Company, of course. I mean, for me, that was a little strange, actually, just looking at the news, because I thought this was all taken care of before,
Me too.
And the fact that, Copperbelt Energy Company, is it supposed to be owned by the Zambian government?
Yes, it's part of the, is it ID or what you call it?
Yeah. So according to the story, they went to court in December and they were, they won a judgment against KCCM to pay them $200 million. That's owed. They were supposed to pay at the end of, I believe, January or mid-February, but it wasn't paid. And so they moved in this past week and pounced with bailiffs and collected equipment and anything they could lay their hands on. that was embarrassing. That was an embarrassment to not just the government, but to all Zambians, because I mean, this to me was a shocker. I mean, I just don't get it. Why would a Zambian government-owned company go after a mining firm who is in sort of end of court in cahoots with the Zambian government? To fire up the mines on the copper belt. What happened there? I'm still in shock just thinking about.
Well,
whole...
since Magazia is knowledgeable about the mining sectors and the business.
Let him go. Let him speak away. This is his
I think it is on this forum. I told you guys that you never listened to me. You were thinking that, oh, these are going to do 2 billion. I told you the 2 billion will never be seen. That 2 billion, you see, it has been promised for 10 years. They were promising every time, and they change the CEO. The next thing that you're going to do, you're going to receive a new CEO who is going to come maybe with another 3 billion promise. And they lie like that. And because they know that governments are always naive from what is happening, they will not listen to other people that are there, because we are already fighting. If you to Alanda, never PF, so if ever to the team, be careful if so for me, getting everything is okay. If you are getting it to the Zambian people are giving them, I don't have a problem. If the Zambian people are taking over, let them take over. But to say that I will support that kind of arrangement, I don't. Because they will just find a legal way of doing it again, and then they will not give us the money. That money will never come. Look at now, how does the president look like now? After president, against all odds, the president was told, these guys are crooked. Do not trust them. At first, he believed that he was not going to trust them. The next thing, he trusts them. Now see where they've left him. So these guys have no kind words for KCM. UPND should have listened when we are telling them. For us that we are there. And like I tell you all the time, I have had the experience of inspecting these mines for many, many years. And this is what they will do. They will never do anything. They will get the money and they'll promise and promise and promise. And then a few things they will do, get to the ministers that they can use, and then it's done. So let's wake up, Zambia. Let's wake up. UPND need to wake up. Otherwise, all right, I submit.
But aren't we about pruning everything? Because, I mean, if you look at it, there was a scheme of creditors, right? As far as I'm concerned. Whether CEC was part of that scheme of creditors, I don't know. But there was a scheme of auditors that KCM owed, and they set aside $250 million. I don't know if I'm mistaken there by Chilufya or by Chanda, you can correct me. But then they left out the big one. The big ones, which was there a separate arrangement with the people that were owed hundreds and hundreds of $millions? Because if CEC can go after them, what about somebody else say, oh, maybe $100 million and, who knows, $300 million. What happens to those big guys? Because the $250 million was for the small boys or the small women like me, maybe who are owed 500,000 kwacha or 1 million kwacha. Those were paid, I understand. Mm-hmm. That's where the $250 million came in. Mm-hmm. But the big corporations, the big guys with hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, what happened to them? Was there a scheme attached to them before coming back? Mm-hmm. So, we can't, I can't, in good conscience, blame CEC for going after them if there was no, backhand, backdrop, deals that were made with them. Mm-hmm. So maybe KCM needs to come out and let us know what happened there, or whoever was in charge of that Nabakabuswe, Mr. Minister of Mines, come and explain to us, because we understood the scheme of creditors for small people that accumulated to $250 million, but we don't understand what happened to the big guys. Was there any negotiations going? I think, to me, that's where the question is.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, by Kalinda. I think according to, if we go back when all this issue started, I remember, and everybody can correct me, I think Vakabuso was saying, when they come in, they're going to deal with local debt. Okay, I mean the contractors' debt, as well as the big mining debt, like people that that you owe, and CEC is part of that component, right? But why was it not compensated in that arrangement? Nobody knows. Now, I think what they were trying to do, because they know CEC is, it's owned by the government, and the government is the one that said, like, look, no, it's owned by the government. It's part of the IDC, really, and they were trying to, I think, come in to say, look, let's deal with these guys first, and then we can deal with the big debts later, right? But if it, but if that wasn't expressly, done, then CEC was still waiting for their money, and they're still waiting for their money up to today. There's no way CEC can be operating on a loss, right? They need to honor themselves. If you come into a business like the way the arrangement was before and the way the arrangement is now, they're giving you that opportunity, to can you justify yourself, or can you get yourself out of this, a question mark of where Vakazia says you guys are crooks. Those are the first thing you should need to do. Take care of the big guys, right? Clear out the bills, and then you start afresh. Because if that thing is still lingering, wow, everybody else is, is questioning, why? Well, CEC is not going to bow down just because it's in fact it's a government. Well, not the government. It's a Zambian company, and they've got the best interest in making sure that the current government succeeds. They are not just going to bow down to you guys. You need to clear your bills so that you start afresh. Okay. So I don't understand what the problem is, or where the disagreement is. For them to reach that level, it means they've obviously gone through all these processes, talking and talking and talking and going, because the president said, can you settle these issues outside court? Obviously, they've been talking. And then for them to reach at this stage, at this level, we cannot blame them. Okay? Because they need that money. It's a company. I rest my case.
Mr. Himwami, the mess at KCM, your take as somebody in Zambia. I mean, KCM is actually in my father's backyard there in Nampundwe, right? If I'm not mistaken. Your take on what's happening at KCM. Oh, the man is sleeping. Is he snoring?
It must have been in a night shift or something.
Oh my God. All right. Shall we move on? Mr. Himwami is checking in now. I mean, what time is it now? It's only 2100 hours, Mr. Himwami. He must have been in the field today. Lady Sarah, your comment on KCM being pounced by bailiffs this past week.
I have no comment.
Why not?
Na
Lady of substance.
bafura baledisera lelo. Na basheta.
Why I don't have a comment, because sometimes when people are saying something, it's not always like you look at the view because they are not part of you, you know. So it's better to listen, even when we are saying something like, okay, this is not right, this is what. It's not like we are against you, you know. So
Who's we?
people, when people are saying, I think the president was warned about these people coming, you know. So I wish we could listen to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now give us your idea or your position.
Your idea. What's the position?
My position is no comment.
Kwa program tatusumisha umuntu without a comment. You've got a comment, whether it's good or bad. We need to hear from you.
You see, Vachanda, why I was telling your grandmother, your great grandmother is like you. You are like her. I've told you I don't have a comment because I've told you the reason why I don't have a comment, because now things are not working for the way it was supposed to be because people didn't listen. That's enough comment for me.
Well, people didn't listen to what?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. She doesn't want to.
Her comment is good enough. If she has no comment.
She has got no comment.
Yeah, she's got no comment. But I'll read out this comment from at least who is contributing via text. And what does it say on the mind? Oh, maybe nothing yet. All right, shall we move on to the next topic? Shall we?
Of course, let's move on.
All right, so we saw the Minister of Justice. Actually, for me, this was the first time I saw her say anything really in Parliament about increased child abuse cases in Zambia, and she's very upset about that. And so, do we have an increase in child abuse in Zambia, or is it that people are reporting those cases more? Where are we with child abuse cases? So let's start with the lady of substance, because she didn't have nothing much to say earlier. This is probably that's something she would talk about, and maybe she's actually correct, because I saw last week. Actually, 2 weeks. I read stories about a gentleman who was abusing his cancer-ridden child in hospital sexually. People had to report him to the police to get arrested. I mean, how inhumane can you be? And then there's another case of a 14-year-old in I think Chongwe, whose father, a 37-year-old man, demanded for sex from her. And she reported the encounter to the mother, and the mother went and reported it to the police. So what's going on with these child abuses cases in Zambia? Lady Sarah, your comment.
It's very sad. It's very sad that such a thing can happen to someone. I can imagine what those girls are going through and what's going on in their minds. Because even just being abused by somebody who is not your father, it's hard and it's tough and it's terrible. But to have your father do that to you as a child, you are young and someone is doing that, even if you are old, your father, it's unbelievable. And Zambia is a Christian country. Where is your Christianity? It's just sad that a man can take off his pants take off the child's pants and have, you know, carnal knowledge with his own child. I don't know what's going on. I think it's mental illness. That's what I can say. Because a normal human being, a father, the way they love their children, I don't think they can do such a thing. Worse still, a parent who was doing that to a cancer, you know, 7-year-old child with cancer in hospital and busy. Wanga, are you a witch? What are you trying to do? Vashtata, so many women on the streets. You can go there and have what you want to have. How do you just, you know, think of your own child? You are married to that woman who gave birth to your daughters. You are busy sleeping with your own children. I think Mashilu, they should be evaluated by the psychiatric personnel, because it's not normal. It's not normal. Takwava. There is no normal human being who can do that. I think they are sick. They should go life imprisonment. Chimona murder. You cannot do that to your own child. Even to any child, you cannot do that. So our girl children, they are not safe, even from their homes where they are living. They are not safe. So where do you find this, you know, environment where you think you are going to be safe if your father can do that to you? Be vigilant. Be vigilant. Check out, tell your children, if somebody drops your pant or touches you in this way, report. You know, let's report. Mwevana, report if you are listening. Report. Talk to somebody. Talk to your teacher. At least you have reported. And don't go back to that house. Don't sit there over 1 month. No, report, talk to somebody. And then also let's also look at our culture. Wakalinda, you remember long time ago when we were growing up, we are not going to hug our father as a girl child. I don't know if you used to do that. You are not just going to be like on the. Me, I've seen. You go to someone's house, you find a girl, adimuli bum shot. Adimuli ka bum shot, ale pitana, ayana pali ba uncle pamola, uncle, I want here babo, uncle, I want here bunch. What is your uncle going to do? He's a man. I'm sorry, there are two men here. I hear you get motivated by what you see. So even the children, I'm sorry, I'm just saying, you know, this is what I've read in the books. Like men, they get that, you know, situation when they see something, as it's by touch or whatever. So even the children at home, let's look at the way you dress, okay, and the way you hang around with these people, the male people that come to your home. Don't start hanging on them. Now we can one on the uncle's laps. You're busy. Uncle, okay, I'll give you. What are you doing? So
are we saying that then we should remove the innocence? I mean, I don't know. Speaking for myself, I was very close to my dad. I mean, I used to hug him. You know, my dad would kiss me on the cheeks. I mean, you know, what about the kids' innocence? At that age, 7, 8, you know, all the kids, they just want to be loved. And the kids show love through hugging. I mean, this is the culture that we live in now. So, I mean, shouldn't the...
Sister Kalinda, I hear you. What I'm trying to say is that because of what is happening, let's bring our culture that we used to have, you know, to look at everybody that is there. You know, our children, we teach them that, you know, mulilo, you know, like if you do this, you lepia, you know, there's that, you know, boundary. There is a boundary, even if they are this way, they hug things and everything. I'm not saying they should not hug, but let's have a boundary where also the dressing in the house, because and not everybody is normal. Somebody who hugs somebody who is like the one who is, you know, abusing the child. That's what we are talking about.
But
I
children,
think
let me
as a
ask.
man, you know,
Let
because
me
this is
ask you as a man in Abakasia. So I'm going to make a bump shot. You become
no. That's not what it is. I think we need to you know, go back like Lady Sarah. You know, I can agree with her. Uh, the old times, they would tell us, you know, ngawatambira abakalamba, wala kwata, you know, there's something that's going to happen to your body, or if you do this, this is what it is, because they were trying to teach us, you know, in a point to say, look, abakalamba, abakalamba, you know, and then in the Zambian community, we've not actually instituted the laws are there, but have not actually been instituted. And I think from now going forward, we need to start instituting seriously. You know, about Princess Kasuni, when she went in Parliament and started talking about that, it actually it personally touched me, because I was like, why are the people, our own children, going through this? Here, kuno okotwaikala kuma developed countries, okay? Takwa abafi omuntu, even just dating, you cannot date umwana gashiwako bati she's not in your age group. Afo chabafi, you know, haringira abam age group yobe one chapter date what Zambia is open season. Why is it that? It's because there are certain rules that we need to calm up and strengthen. Even punishment. You know, I was so shocked the other day. I was watching a video of General Kanene. I don't know where he went in the Eastern province. And this man, he was asking him, here in this village, how old would a girl be for me to marry? He said, even 15 years we can marry. Jerry, really? Jerry, yes. You can marry a girl in 15 years, no problem. And I was like, why would those kind of laws, or those kind of arrangements be allowed? You can imagine. So we need to go to the village level, and we need to advance the ministry of community and you know, all this. Can we have a real serious ministry and a real serious minister? Because we are not going to resolve these issues if there's no backing from the government, if there's no funding from the international market, so that we see that look, the president has already said go to school for free. Why in the world would you want to disturb that child's future? And because in your mind, maybe you're confused, like your own daughter, your own child. We want to acquire this. These are issues that I think we can bring in, you know, I'm a psychologist, they come in and stuff like that. But I think laws, if people start seeing real strict laws, and if because the thing is this, very few of these cases are reported. And even if they're reported, people are not being prosecuted accordingly. Let's give an example and say, if you do something like this is your end game. So that other people, you see? But we're not having those issues. Are these laws weak? Or why are the implementers or the people that have the custody in these matters not implying them? Or are they implying them blindly? Or why are people still continuing doing these things? We want to know as Zambian people. Trefo kwishiba. Finchi vile chitika mwe wantu wakwalesa. I submit. You're muted, Wakalinda.
Yeah, sorry. Because as a parent, there's increased cases of child abuse in our community back home. Your comment. What do we need to do? What has gone wrong with society today? Bakazi. Are you there? Okay, we lost him, Bakazi. I think we should just move on to the next topic, shall we?
Yeah, of course. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah, let's move on to the next topic. And what are we talking about next is the...
we got a couple. We got a couple. We got Mulungushi, and we got the teachers.
No, we're going.
Well.
Yeah, we're going to the teachers. 4,000 employed, and Vala Salula come in September. Vala Salula, the government has employed 4,000 teachers more this year. They start in in September when schools reopen. I mean, I saw videos of teachers, those recruited crying, tears of joy, rolling on the ground, and I mean, it's another promise delivered to the Zambian constituency. I mean, they said they were going to employ 4,000, and here we are, 4,000 teachers employed. But and I should add there that I shouldn't, but go ahead. No, it wasn't. Just a personal. There's a close family friend that's just been employed.
It's been recruited. It's been recruited.
He's been recruited, my man.
That's
waiting for years.
That's actually absolute fantastic because
so at least I have somebody close I can say, well, yeah, I have a family friend that's been recruited.
Those big numbers, like, look, people were saying, like, what are these recruitment? What do they mean?
Exactly.
Why are they important? Or why are they? What's the hullabaloo? Why people talking about them? Like, look, if 4,000 people or students, in fact, youths taken off the streets to go and have a job and earn money, it means one person or one member of your family is now a breadwinner in the context of the Zambian community, because over Twaika in a society where we've got we living Bantu, it's a mixed community. You have people, you got your father or mother if you're lucky, but you got your brothers and sisters, and maybe you got cousins, but you all live in one house. Okay. And that responsibility is all neatly placed on the head of the house. It can make, most cases in Zambia, it's the mother, because if we were in Zambia, I'm sorry, but we're very absent. Okay. So you find yourself in a situation where a lady is the head of the house. She's taking care of Avana, her cousins, her sisters, and her own children in the same house. Okay. And then if one person goes to college and graduates, okay, she starts bringing some sort of income in the house. Why wouldn't that be good? You see? So these are the issues that we need to look at. Like, the more teachers are being recruited, it's a plus. And as a matter of fact, they've announced, like, look, in the next coming 2 weeks again, there's going to be another 2,000, which is going to include, the people that are, disabled or physically challenged. in that realm. Because
can I jump in quickly before I lose my network?
Go ahead.
You Bakazia.
No, I'm on the road.
What is it?
No, both your Pathfinder.
Yeah. Takwa banani kale bell whatever. What internet?
I'm on the road, so but a quick submission to what you have said, Bachanda. This is why I was telling you to say, Imulela and their teacher, Mangisha, Yotolewe, Amat defilements area, Ekufile Kwayenda Lama, not to constitutional review. Mamona, that's a very good opportunity. Let's pay the teachers. Let's pay them adequately. Let's pay them their allowances when they are due. So that not to come for expenditure on government. No. So that is a welcome move. So let's focus on those energies. Not to come who start politically appease and to become positions which they don't even deserve. Okay.
Yeah, kutata mari. Mwapuisha Bakazia.
But I'm happy that yes, the announcement is good. I support the recruitment and I also support that they should be paid. Not to kuingisha fie nchito, mwabasha no kubasha tuna kuingisha nchito. Elo mwatu wasenda 10 million, 50 million to watu wala position review. It's better to kuingisha nchito na ma allowances to waba pela. Settling in allowance basenda, ka subsistence allowance basenda, rural hardship bafola. Not that teacher
but
subsistence allowance. The amount of subsistence allowance is 25% of your annual pay. So it goes a long way to support a teacher. It goes a long way to support a nurse. And this money is not paid to them.
Oh no, but not in this government.
But government, when people are telling you this is complex, ask the teacher unions, ask the organization that represent the teachers. They will tell you what I'm telling you. You see, this frustrates the teachers and it creates a lot of negativity.
No.
The
teachers union was on TV the other day.
I have people that are my relatives that are teachers. For 5 years, they've not been paid. You understand? So it's not like if Indela and then they Satafi. See, there's Satafi. Tell me one union which will come here and they say all the teachers that they are representing were paid selling allowance. When you hear domestic debt, what do you think that is?
Can you just go for TV? Yesterday, was it yesterday or the other day? Okay, they were on TV.
Saying
agreeing
what?
with the government and praising the government.
Saying
what? They were saying, you have increased every year. It has never happened.
You see,
if there were issues, why were they praising
look at this
of employing more teachers?
Why are you not? You are not speaking. The things that I'm concerned about are things that concern to do with settling in allowance, subsistence allowance, hardship allowance, remote allowance. These things are not paid.
So you got the data. So here's the thing. What you're saying is this. Mulera ndati ama teachers
don't paraphrase what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. And don't paraphrase, answer to it. I have
internet generation
okay.
Yeah, iresha na maenge. Tatre ufabani.
You've lost him. Your network is dancing around, Bakazia. We've lost you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, just log out and come back in.
Ile chitakwati. Mulikuba ya dance.
So, well, with this issue here, I think let's give kudos to where it's due. You know, for recruiting more than 4,000 teachers and putting them into work. That's a very valid and important thing that most Zambians are proud of, and most households you can go to ask anybody that in being employed, they're busy, happy, and celebrating that. Look, my daughter has been employed. Okay, and that's indirectly money coming into the community, coming into the pockets of a single family, right? So
Right.
those are the issues that we need to look at, because
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
So my quick submission was, AMA teachers, what they are complaining about and what the unions will not tell you is that Ngamwa English AMA teachers, you increase their subscription. That's why they are happy. But they need, and the government needs to deliberately focus on these things that affect them.
Can you hear him?
Now and there, I was just telling you, I was just rushing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, moderator, we can go to the next topic. I think we've tackled this one.
Yeah, we've talked enough about it. And next topic we have on hand is the new jobs at Mlungushi, right? With the opening of that largest seed manufacturing company out there in Kabwe. It looks like jobs in people need to move to Kabwe.
Yeah. Kabwe is
You know,
it's becoming live now. You know,
it's becoming a bit
I can tell you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I got family in Kabwe. Kabwe, it was for many years known as a ghost city. Okay, because at one point Kabwe used to be the birth of coal. I think there was a coal mine there, and it was shut down. And people it's a small city. Kabwe is not large. It's a small city, and the main contributors, people were mining, and I think there was coal and there was copper. But after those mines were shut down, people were in the doldrums, and the city shut down. And many years have passed. There's no government that has ever gone there to say, this is what we're going to do for the city of Kabwe. Of course, we know that the regime, the past regime by PF4, what they were doing is this, just to get the votes in the Kabwe system. Vale kumulungushi kulia. Bachi penta fechi building, and then but some people ayana pa TV mundu atambuka awe twala isula nomba mwibantu wa mukabwe mwana kwa tenchito. What happened? Oof. 10 years down the line, nothing. Okay, they were doing that every campaign season. Knowing quite well that he didn't have the capacity or the brains or the knowledge or expertise to revamp this economy in Kabwe or this sector in Kabwe. But he was there, raising his hand.
What
used to happen is they were listening to this president and following his instructions. Up to the law until this new government has come in. The first thing that President Wes HHD was to say, I'm going to revamp Kabwe. Okay? The textile industry. Yala wela. It to be back and better. We want to look. I think people think like this is a joke. But gamwaipusha abantu ba Mukabwe, gamwabe pusha. on a personal level. I mean, what's happening? Kumulungushi Textiles is what we've been waiting for over. We've been waiting. Fish mrefu kuipisha bane. Oh, internet yendu bana yesha de mayengi. Mule bomfya zamke mule bomfya shati. So what we're saying is this.
Responding and Africa.
Okay.
Just
so
continue.
what we're saying is this. Textiles. Now the people of Kabwe have a pride in this current government because it has delivered. Iria textiles, that was obsolete. The machinery that was there was very obsolete. Okay? Not in obsolescence, but it was obsolete. So what needed for this, for any government, but this government said, look, we cannot have a textile with obsolete equipment. Can we bring in new equipment? So new equipment was deployed. It's coming all the way. Now the last installment of all those on the phase one of the Bangladeshi textiles has arrived and is being installed. What's that going to mean? It means
how many people are employed in Kabwe?
Sorry, can I just finish?
How many people are employed in Kabwe?
Yeah, over 200 people are going to be employed directly at Kabwe or Mulungushi Textiles, and over 500 to 1,000 indirect jobs are going to be created. What are we talking about? We're talking about industries in terms of cotton farming. I'm a farmers. Okay? So the cotton industry was down for years.
That's just that's just Mulungushi Textiles. But now the new company, which is the one manufacturing seed for the whole country.
Yeah, that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different one, because if you want to know. So there's another company that has come on board that's going to be producing seed, the largest seed company that's being built, or it's already there, is going to be manufacturing seed in Sub-Sahara Africa, the largest Sub-Sahara Africa. In fact, people are saying, no, it's going to be the largest in Africa, but it's here in Zambia. So that's another.
Who owns who owns the same company?
Who owns it? It's me and you.
Yep.
It's me and you.
That's your answer.
It's the Zambian people.
So that's your answer. I'm saying who owns the company?
It's you and me.
You see, just answer the question. Don't say you and me. You know, you and me are in Canada here. We are not taking part.
It's the Zambian people. It's the Zambian.
What is the shareholder value of this? Who owns what shares there?
Today, if we wake up to a suitcase, yes, right? Let's go and create a company. A company. Okay. Now, would people start questioning us at who owns this company when we're employed?
Why would they? If they choose to ask us, we will answer that. It is us, and then we mention who owns the shares. We explain it. Now,
no.
You understand? You see, Bachanda, trying to appease people to look things better. What is not right? You see, that Mungushi was working in UNIP era. You can't say for the first time in the history of Zambia. No. That company was not established by UPND government. No.
The name of the company is there. So just mean
Is what?
bear or buyer, however you want to pronounce that.
Vakalinda, what is the share value of those
No, I
9?
think,
Because you can
I
find
think it's talking about the Mulu. So if you're talking about Mulu, let's go.
No,
There are
we're
two
talking
things here.
about the seed company.
Okay, but Chanda is talking about Mulungushi. Is answering on Mulungushi. So there are two things here.
Chinese. I think it's a Zambian Chinese, partnership. I think the Chinese may own maybe 51%, Zambia 49%, somewhere around that margin. Does that satisfy you?
Yeah, but you see,
what's your question about?
I wanted to know who owns it.
Who owns which company? You're talking about
whichever company that you're talking, both the company that is there and the company and the Mulungushi. What is the shareholder value? Because company ownership and national ownership is from share value. Minority shareholder, you don't own anything. You should know that one, every economist, basic economics. 51% shares is technically my company. Because I can make a decision without you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And this is what is happening. Even I'm telling you, Kumopani FH Tika. That is why it's because of shareholding. They woke up and changed the things, and there's nothing you can do about it. These things are things that are very clear.
No, okay.
These things are very.
Vakazia. I think what we need to understand is this. The current government, what they're trying to do is create an enabling environment for investors to come and invest in Zambia.
Chanda,
so
listen to me.
Example, twaya suitcase twaya ku Zambia as the investors. It doesn't matter whether mufuma ku Germany, ku Italy, you come there. The environment there should enable you. No, listen, let me finish. It should enable you to do your business in a country, okay? And you're going to be protected because the government is saying, like, look, if you come here with all your investment, it doesn't matter. Look, it shouldn't be a Zambian-owned company, but there's Zambian principles and the Zambian system should allow you to do your business.
Okay? That is the difference. So that is where my departure point is. You understand? That's where my departure point is. I have always told you, and I will continue telling you, there is no ownership that what you are going to say. No country will ever develop based on foreign direct investment with my minority shareholding.
Company is going to be owned by
I'm talking in relation. I am talking in relation to what the conversation is about. You understand? I'm talking about the relationship of the conversation we are having here. The mines right now, we don't own any mine. You understand? We don't. All the mines are foreign owned. That is just a fact.
That's not really true. No, that's not. No, that's not true.
Tell me one mine.
It's a shareholding. It's a shareholding arrangement. So,
and if it's a shareholding arrangement,
look, you cannot say that we don't own any mine when we've got 49% shares.
Tell me one mine you own. Tell me one mine which you own.
Sharing.
Tell me one mine which is owned.
Don't lie to the people.
Let's restrict.
No, if I'm not,
to the seed company that is opened in Kawe, please.
But Vakalinda, because Vachanda wants to argue with facts. That's why I have a problem with him. You see, you can't come and say, "Oh, we own a company, we own a mine." I'm saying, tell me one mine which we own as Zambians.
And that's why
there is no mine.
That argument is out of the window right this minute. Let's talk
but you see,
no. Because you are taking viewers in when they are supposed to be listening to the seed company.
Yes, in fact, I agree with you, Vakalinda. I agree with you. But the thing is that when there's misinformation, it must be corrected on this forum. We cannot allow misinformation to go away without being corrected.
Misinformation?
The misinformation is that right now, the Zambians, there is no mine that is owned by Zambians. That is a fact.
Okay.
No,
Are you talking about
okay.
percentage?
According to you,
No.
okay. If I am wrong,
Here's the thing.
Let me finish first. Let me finish, then you answer and answer this question in the following manner. Tell me name one company which we own as Zambians. One mine.
Why are we again?
What's
Let's
ownership?
not talk about
First of all,
no.
let's define the word ownership. Okay.
I mean,
the ownership.
No. Let's restrict the conversation to what we're talking about.
I agree with you.
The discussion on mines is out the window. We
don't have any mine.
Yes, with or without an answer.
Don't protect Vachanda for misleading people.
No,
Do not protect him for misleading people.
What have I said?
Vakalinda, do not protect Vachanda for misleading people because I told him to say.
Vakazia, what have I said that's misleading the people of Zambia? Tell me.
What you have said, which is misleading the Zambian people, is to claim that Zambians own a mine. We don't own any mine because ownership in any company is by shareholding. We have no mine where we are majority shareholders.
Okay.
We do not have such.
Okay. Let me give you an example.
But again.
No. Let me just give him an example.
But just move on. Vakalinda is right.
No. I've got two friends.
Vakalinda is right. Just move on. You are wrong on that.
I've got two friends that own mines in the copper belt.
What mines do they own?
I'll tell you because when I PFO for
let me tell
you one thing. There are a lot of Zambians that own mines.
I have asked a specific. I'm a viewer.
Are you living
in Sparks mining on the copper belt?
I have asked a question, one simple question, and there is no answer that is coming from you guys. I said, tell me one mine.
I'm giving you an Sparks mining. Sparks.
Which Sparks?
On the copper belt.
What mine does he own?
He owns a mine on the copper. Just Google him. Google him. Okay. With that note, the conversation on that is done. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Move on. I guess move on.
1 minute. I'm Vakalinda coming. Just give me 2 minutes. I think. Just give me 2 minutes.
We're supposed to be winding up here. All right. Mining Wakwisoko. Let's move on. Nobody's. I mean, it will lead us to this next topic on Mupani. What's the update on Mupani, Bakazia? You remember which best story? Explain.
Mupani.
Yes.
I sent a video to the group. And I want to hear your response to that video where Yokada. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm waiting for you.
Go ahead, Vakalinda. No, I'm saying like
my answer to because those are his personal allegations to begin with. Allegations of Mupani, I mean, he's alleging corruption through the award of tenders or suppliers or whatever at Mupani. I think Mupani can do whatever heck they want. It's their mine. To begin with, it's their mine.
Yes, Vakalinda. You are now nailing the head on the Muleuma. Vakalinda Mwauma, the hammer on the nail.
If they choose to go a different direction, that's on them. Why? I mean, why?
It's their mind, isn't it?
It's their mind.
I totally agree with you.
You know?
Vakalinda, for the first time, I'm agreeing with you. It's their mind. What they do with their mind should not concern anyone.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
The only concern that I have is that the people that they have employed, are they taking care of those people?
Yes.
That's what I need to know.
I'm very glad that
they're paying taxes to the government of the day.
Yes.
They're doing that. Those are things that concern me. Anything else is just water under the bridge.
Yeah. Anything else is just noise.
Yes.
In fact, Vakalinda,
Go ahead.
I am tending to agree with you, because when we told people, when we said this mine has been taken back to the foreigners, the owners now are foreigners, you have no business to talk about Mopani. We were receiving me on this forum, but and about me now. They were at 51%, they will do whatever they want to do. There's nothing we're going to do. They will change the procurement, they will change whatever policy, and after they've changed, they will now fire the Zambian general manager and bring their own. And there's absolutely nothing we're going to do about it, because we have given them. So okay, now, what is just worrying is when he reviews what is actually going on and how the Zambians are sidelined, your own people work, and you can see the invisible hand of high-profile UPND members there that are now telling those boys, there's corruption that is involved. How come nobody contracts and no one else is aware? How did that happen?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. I mean, I think it's wrong if somebody brings to the fore the operations or what's going on over there based on what he has found out, for somebody else to start telling him insults. I mean, that's absolutely, uncalled for. And
I agree. And Wakarinda, that is what has been the problem in Zambia. Umuntu whoever, I don't agree with him as a person. Frank, I don't agree with how he insults other people, how he demeans other people. I don't agree with him. But you see, I have a right to protect Frank when he raises a thing that and then Zambia, instead of fixing what he's taking up, we go after him. Hey, you know Frank, yes, he's a Zambian. It's fine, but you should just tell him Chapwa. But to go after him because he's telling how these foreigners have now taken a swipe and dealing with us, and then he's the one who becomes a victim, is unfortunate, especially from a government that talks about empowering the Zambians. By UPND, this one is on you. Fix that. Listen to him. If there's a minister involved who they were saying in Gawarumburok State House who deal with you, he must be dealt with. I think that is the way to go.
Yeah,
I submit my
opinion. Also, really, for me, really, I don't subscribe to people just talking. I like to see the facts. Is there a voice note of that bad minister threatening the way he did? Let's not just come. The problem with Zambians also, we have this put down in the syndrome. Look at the man who just came back from the grocery store.
Who is that?
The dog is here.
What?
The dog is here.
Let him just go and sleep. We are done. He's not going to speak.
He went to he said he was grocery shopping. Which
I forgot that we had a meeting. I stepped out and
yeah.
So Wakarinda, for me, I am saying that person is a Zambian. He must be protected. And he said he was going to talk this today on Sunday to review now the names. If he doesn't, then he is corrupt to the core, or someone has paid him to keep quiet.
No, I mean, for me, because Zambians, we have this put down syndrome, which is for real. I mean, it's real. So let's not just come out and say this, because we can talk. Show me the evidence. Sometimes, people just talk for the sake of talking, but they don't have any substance. They don't have any evidence. So, Doc, welcome back. How is Puerto Rico, sunny Puerto Rico, which we enjoyed?
The weekends are a blast here.
Ooh,
Anyway.
We had a good time last weekend. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, about my party member, you're talking about the guy who said something's going wrong on the Copper Belt.
At Mupani, yes.
Yeah, I think to me his analysis was very sober, and I think he's
his analysis was based on what he observed, because he's on the copper belt right now, and he was seeing, as he said, he was born and raised on the copper belt. He sees when things are happening and he sees when things are going wrong. I think as a party, we have to reflect on that. We shouldn't just garbage what he said. We should look at it as a reflection on what's going on with these mining companies on the copper belt. They promise a lot, but they do little. And I still remember, I think there's still a lot of questions unanswered, because in Nawak, we talked about this thing I think last year as well. Is it Edith Nawaki or someone? She mentioned that, Kabuswe, please don't trust these people. They're saying they're going to invest $2 million, whatever. I don't know how many million they promised. But after all, what they did was to get a loan and use the mine as a collateral, which was really, according to Nawaki, I remember that time, she said they really did not qualify in the bidding process because of that. When you are bidding to run a big asset like that, you should show evidence of having your own money, but you don't say, okay, just give me the contract, let me sell me this asset, but you use the same asset as a collateral at the same time. No, you can't do that. That asset is not yet yours for you to use it as collateral to buy it again. It doesn't make sense. If you go to the bank right now, you want to buy a house, you can't tell them, okay, give me this house I want to buy, it's collateral, and then give me money. No, they want something else other than the house you want to buy. But anyway, I think he said something that we need to digest as a party. I don't think what he said has no basis. I think it has a lot of truth in it, and I think we need to investigate that further as a party. Well, let's not just ignore it, because some people are saying, no, he wanted a contract, they didn't give him contracts, that's why he's talking like that. No, I don't think so. He's a very faithful member of the party, and he's an educated guy. He's got his own life. He doesn't depend on handouts like Tantameni used to do in the PF era. Our party supporters are not like the Tantameni ones. No, they have a life. They have their own things to do. They don't depend on
which things to insult other people, and then motherfucker same as Tantameni.
Let the dog finish his.
Let me finish. So the thing is, let's investigate that, and if these guys are really doing, if we find the truth behind what this guy has said, I think we should act. We should not ignore. And as to me, as he said, the president has a good vision for the country. He's doing the best, but it's the people on the ground who are letting him down. And I think it's high time that the president starts micromanaging some of these people. He should go there and see what's going on the ground. You don't just launch something and go away and expect things to happen. The Ministry of Mines is not performing, in my view. We are just talking about 300 metric this and that, but I don't think the performance is there right now. We need the mining minister to wake up and do better than he's doing. That's all I can say.
Mr. Hauser must be fired in a nutshell. If these stories had anything to go by.
I think, Makalinda, we can't go that far.
If these stories are, come on now, he's not living up to, because already there's always a blemish. What happened? No, let me finish, because my throat short. He already has a blemish with what happened with what happened at KCM. There's a blemish there. We cannot just sweep that, the dirt under the rug. So if we didn't look at that portion, to me, that's a big one. You cannot embarrass the country like that when it comes to KCM. And if the things that are going on at KCM are anything to go by, that's strike two for me. He must go. If he was here where we are, he could have resigned in national interest. It's as simple as that. Anyway, we're talking, Mupani, your view about Chilufya.
No, no. Let vakazia. Oh, sorry.
Now of Mapavakazia, his network just yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these issues are issues that look at the end of the day. I think we need to look at all these conglomerate companies that are coming to invest in the mining sector real seriously, because not just Mopani, not just KCF, but any mining sector. I think we need to start revising and looking at how are they going to be operating, and how are they going to be abiding by our Zambian, not quote unquote international standards, but our Zambian standards. Okay? Because we're always going to reach these roadblocks if we don't put it into a perspective and really analyze it and put it in sort of a legislation and how to move forward. UPND is not the first party to rule this country. Okay, and it's not the first party to be, experiencing these problems. These problems have been happening from way back. I think the best thing that we can do is bringing on board every individual. If you're a true Zambian, instead of castigating or blaming the UPND government, can you come up with some real nice policies that you can say, look, why don't we do this? Because at the end of the day, there's only one Zambia in one nation. And I can tell you for most countries that have existed in the last 2,000 years. And I always come up, I always keep on, in the Konkomaisha or the Renaissance era in Italy. It happened in the 14th century. Until today, people can go to Italy and watch those marbles of things that people did at that time. Why? Because there was a call to say, can we as Zambia come up with solutions, our own solutions? Don't be political, don't be partisan, just come up with a solution. And can we stand and say, okay, fine, can we come together? Okay? You're telling me they're not intelligent Zambians that can solve most of these, pertinent issues, all these issues that we're talking about? There are a lot. There are a lot that can come up with ideas and can present and do it. Civil engineering. Ministry of Civil Engineering, Ministry of Buildings, but surveyors, engineers. Why is that ministry there? Okay, that's a bit.
Doc. Is the dog still here?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm talking to someone in Canada. So, Chama Brand. So, go on. He's on the phone.
Okay. All right then. Shall we move on to the next topic? I think we're done. I think for me, I stand by my comments. I'm saying that I think Okabuswe must go. Too many mistakes. So many mistakes so far, and the mess at KCM. Any other minister would have resigned by now. And now all these nuances at Mupani. I mean, they don't leave a lot of us, comfortable, or even have trust in him as a minister. So he, to me, is already a strike 3. So he must go. All right, shall we move on to the next topic? And that topic is what? Bachilufia? And oh my goodness, are we almost done? You're not supposed to go.
Musiani.
Oh, Musiani. Oh God. With him. So he was found with a case to answer last week regarding the case. He has against Kidist and her husband Yomaps. So as he was walking out of the courtroom, he was arrested by the police on a whole different case. I mean, what's going on with these bloggers in Zambia? I mean, let's start off with that. I'm sorry, that DJ in Katete who was apparently, owns the Zambian Eye or something, where he would publish something in the Zambian Eye against certain individuals, and then he would contact them for payment of 1,000 kwacha to remove them, whatever he published on them. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? Do we have anybody from the Eastern Province here? No, we don't. I mean, what's going on? And then we have Musiani, apparently, who was paid big bags of money by who. We're not going to even say who, but we know who they are, to scandalize a lot of people in government in these so-called publications online like the Zambian Eye also. My goodness. So, apparently Zicta was following him. I guess they arrested several people who directed...
Wakalinda, a quick one, Wakalinda, before I lose my network.
Uh-huh.
That thing, I think Zicta must stop that kind of harassment. They failed to arrest Kosu and Watchdog. The things they've written about people, and they are State House bloggers. They have been told. State House has never rejected that we are not part of that. So if you're going to publish things about that, let people take civil lawsuits. If I feel defamed, let me go to the court. How many times have we been insulted ourselves? People have been insulted on these blogs. So to start using Zicta in that manner because Yomap is presenting for some people, it's not right. Let people have the freedom. This is the freedom that UPND brought. Now you again clamping the same freedom that you brought to people. That is not just right.
You shut me
that I don't support myself.
Yeah, I think these issues.
There are two separate issues here. The issues with your maps, where he was found with the case to answer by the courts, that's separate from what's going on with him now. It's separate anyway, in the manner that he was paying individuals to publish malicious stories about certain individuals who reported those cases to the police. And then when they investigated, those people are the one who said, no, people were being paid by who? Masiani or Mulishani, whatever his name is. Only to find out actually Mushani is just a small person because he also was getting big back.
Let them invest.
You know.
Let them invest. For us to start having a conversation.
Yeah. So the story is, why are you?
First of all, let me jump in this. There is no way that any discussion is about PF.
Plan B, I'm on a PF. This is
this is where the problem when UPND. You are very good at manufacturing things. You generate things in your heads and then you arrest people for them. That's not to be political on this platform. Let's just look at things objectively. If you want to go political, we can do that.
Okay, on this particular topic. On this particular issue or topic, it's well documented. You can go on the internet if you want, and people now they're actually saying like Uyumlumendo, he was being sponsored
By who?
What's it? Masinano? What's his name? Elias
Musiani, Mwelasi Musiani.
Nina anuwa lem sponsor.
He was being
Nina anuwa lem sponsor. Problem munapanga obufya papenenga mwasa panga tu lem sponsor. Then you create a fiction around it.
I haven't even finished talking.
Tell me who sponsored
No, but I haven't even finished talking. Why are you so defensive?
Tell me who is sponsoring
Why are you
him.
defensive?
Okay,
I'm not defensive. I want to know who is sponsoring Musiani so that I keep quiet. I am not defensive. I am not.
Relax. Ngatai mwamole Mr. Sponsor Elias, whatever his name is.
Relax. Can you move? So, see, stop lying.
Sponsored.
Guys, you see,
iwe masiriano twalakopera endalama vava mu same group chirofya tayari
plan B
mulavepo obufimwe bwaffe
uyo nani umwaite
okay mulavepo obufimwe
same sponsorship
plan B
okay so mwe bantu akwalesa you just go and look at in fact, let me give an example. At Waimi. Look at where he is filming from. You can simply no, forget about that.
Forget about why me. Forget about why me.
Did you hear his latest
Ichibokolo? You are sponsoring Ichibokolo.
No. Who?
Yes. Questions have been arisen. You have kept your mouth tight.
Why me is not in Zambia? Who's sponsoring who?
Ichibokolo
is Zambia. Let's agree. You
are sponsoring him. How can he run away? He's under the wings of the ruling government.
No. Let's be clear.
We are not going to agree. I don't agree to the nonsense that what why me and the Chibokolo do. Me, I don't like that. I do not subscribe to that nonsense.
The point is this. But what Abantu, if they're trying to raise an awareness, there's no way Rasa Vakunya, Vakutwala ku country imbi. And then there's no way you are
going to be sponsoring Chibokolo and the
first lady Bamutinta Bamayo. Go beba kamipere fumo. Are you sure? Are you sure? No. That's wrong. If you're supporting that, that's wrong. If you're sponsoring that, that's wrong.
Let's sponsor Chibokolo, and you're failing to agree to that fact. Me, I don't subscribe to both why me and the Chibokolo the way they behave. I don't like it. They're very disrespectful. But what I don't also like is your selective justice.
All right. And on that note, we are coming to the end of the broadcast. I think we've exhausted all our topics we had lined up for today. Shall we go on to our rants and we call it a day? Who wants to start the rant? PS West. Busy.
Where is my deep thinker?
Deep thinker, but he's out of town. He's still enjoying his vacation. He's on a summer break.
So, for me, I don't want to be having this conversation of each other who are disrespectful and demeaning. And also, I want to take this chance. If Max are there, Max is genuinely spokesperson who UPND. He must tone his language. Language, if we have the language that is neutral, the language that is not demeaning. And no wonder Chibokolo maybe is gotten his things from there. We can't be having our Tukana, our demeaning, our Karamba, and we think it's right. I do not support Waimi, I do not support Ichibokolo, and certainly I don't like the demeaning language that Max does. I think Oliver is coming up a little bit better in terms of his language. Max must stand up to the position he has been given.
Brilliant.
I submit.
But Sophia, what's your run for the day?
Well, my run for the day is, we need to set certain values as a country. First and foremost, Zambia is a one nation, and if we're going to allow certain individuals or certain people to discredit us and paint us black because they're being sponsored by some leaders in the opposition, I think it's sad really, if people like that existing in this country, and as a human being, like, why would you propagate such kind of story? Why would you sponsor an individual like that? And why would the Zambian people sponsor or vote you want to come back into power? Is that your strategy? Now you can imagine if people like that are brought back into power, what are they going to do next? They bring Zambia to its knees. So Zambians need to wake up and say, look, we not going to stand from being abused, being misused, especially the youth.
Right.
And that's why the president is saying, look, can the youth come up and can the youth continue? Because he's not going to be there all the time, but the youth are going to be there. And as the youth, we are going to rely on certain individual paying you some money to go and sit in a hotel in Malaysia. It's out the head of state for his amusement. Is that what you want to be? Really? How long are you going to be there? Okay? How long are they going to sponsor you? So you have to ask yourself that question. Like, look, certain things you need to ask yourself. Like, if one day in Giramwe, is it a fight for life or fight for your opportunity? Are you fighting for the Zambia? You're not fighting for anything. There's no Zambian that wants to listen to you to discredit elders. There's no Zambian. There's Tapalium Zambian. Olomo. Uyinga Alexander awe yofuarira ndo yomuntu pishinga. No. Okay? You cannot be insulting Bamayowa Pamutinta. You cannot be insulting our president of my country. You cannot be doing that. You can't do that. Okay? Ekipimo kyakaja unofo twakula fe pamayanda. Fe twayikula pamayanda ko bati. Your mother would leave you with a neighbor and she will tell you this is your auntie. But you're not even related. Okay? And you start calling her auntie. Mama, over twayikula. Not this that I'm seeing now. This is not the way Zambia should be. Okay? And if you're sponsoring those people, those young boys, I'm sorry. I don't know where your mind is. Okay? That's why I want to feel 100% normal. I'm going to sponsor this person, I'm going to give him money. And people are doing that. And we're ignoring.
But if you're even going there, it's given when they're sponsoring him. What do you mean? It's a non-fact.
No, but Karinda, may I beg to differ that? Because you see,
but Given admitted it himself that he brought
Given was And there is a reason. We are not dealing with the core things that is making these young people insult. Look at how they insult your people, your Northwestern province, provincial chairperson.
Anyway,
But andamulela definitively panga sense here. But andamulela definitively panga a lot of sense here that this is against our values, against our culture. I agree with you. But is it now against our culture that the only person who must be better be protected is President HH? Anyone else must be insulted. Look at how Chiboko was insulting ECL. You were ECL.
When did that happen?
It happened.
He's online every day. Every day.
Bachanda, it should not be even. Bachanda, we must not allow. Bachanda.
Okay.
We must not allow, not even one. We must not. Bakalinda, hear me out on this. Bakalinda, hear me. Hear me out in 4 seconds. In 4 seconds.
What you're supporting.
In 4 seconds, Bakalinda. In 10 seconds.
I'll feel really bad if this is what you're supporting.
Can I, you have interjected me when I wanted to make a point. Let me give you one point. I have told you, I do not subscribe to that nonsense. Whether it be done daily or it be done once, I do not. And I'm expecting once a favor Kalamba to be on that platform where we say this is stupidity, will not support. Whether be it coming from within UPND or it is coming from PF, we must all stand up and say this is wrong. The problem here, Mukwete, and this is a problem that the government and the people must deal with, is that what happens when it comes from UPND within UPND? And what should come out from UPND to this person, young person who is 20-year-old? What should we tell them? I do not subscribe, and I've told you that and the time and again. Yes, we must stop that. We must stop it.
Let's end it now. Dr. Danny, you have a run before we wrap this up? Oh, he's still talking to us. All right, until next week, keep the faith, shall we? Oh my goodness, my brain is fried.